Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV Saturday night, and it's the second part of our Albania doubleheader. That's right, FiK59 starts in just a couple of weeks' time. On the 16th, 17th and 18th of December this year, the Albanian national broadcaster will be broadcasting their national final for Eurovision, Festivali Kenges, which this year there is a twist. It will no longer take place in the Congress Palace in Tirana, but in fact it will take place outside in the square of Italy. Festivali Kenges has been running for 59 years. I mean, that's far outweighs the time they've been in Eurovision. They've been in Eurovision 16 times and have made the final 9 times. Supposed to be represented last year by Aralina with Shy, or Fall from the Sky as it was translated, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. And sadly, Aralina will not be joining us this year at Festivali Kenges. But there are many, many great songs. Hopefully you joined us on Thursday evening. We went through the first 13 songs. Tonight we go through the second part, the next 13. So have you got any favourites here? We're going to find out. I should firstly just say though, make sure you do tune in to Festivali Kenges. You'll be able to find it online. The first night, all 26 songs will be broadcasted. The second night, they'll be broadcasted again, this time in an acoustic version. And the third night, the songs which made it through from the jury on the first and second nights will be played again, live on the third night. It's going to be a really good competition, actually. And be interested to see how it translates outside. The thing with that, of course, is there will be no orchestra. So there'll be a backing track playing, and that will affect things. We're used to seeing the orchestra in Festivali Kenges, so this is a bit of a first. Anyway, that's enough of me. Let's get into the songs. But firstly, let's meet the panel. Everybody give them a wave. There we go. So top left, we've got Joe.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again.
We've got Tom.
Hey, Stu. Great to see you again.
Good to see you. We've got Elliot.
Evening, everybody.
We've got Martin from the Let Me Be the One podcast and blog and whatever else he's got going on.
And radio show. Good evening, everyone.
Say hello to Phil and Michelle.
Hello.
Hi.
And finally say hello to Ian.
Good evening, everyone.
Right, let's kick it off. So you're in the chat room. Make sure you comment along. If you watch this on playback, make sure you click the like button, click subscribe, but most importantly, ding-a-dong our bell. Make sure that next time we go live, which actually is tomorrow night, we'll talk about that later, you get to hear firsthand. We're going to crack on now with the first 3 songs. This is Group 1. So 3 great songs to kick us off this evening. We're going to come to Elliot first. Elliot, good to see you this evening. Tell us about these 3 songs. Which were your favourites?
Out of these 3, the first that jumped out was Kastro, because you've got this sort of like rhythmical, like almost like Latin sort of musicality rhythm to it, with then this really deep rocky voice, which is unheard of as is, let alone in Albania. So that really stood out, and I think that will be very interesting to see how that translates live. Kamala, it was nice, it was pleasant, very little sticks out for me about it, and Inis, she's probably one of the biggest names going into this. She came 3rd back in the year Eugent Bushpepa competed with the big ballad. She's done a lot since, including the new wave competition and an event in Romania where she won. The big issue with this song is it's already got a bit of drama, because Jonas Thunder, who is a Swedish composer, never has anything in Festivali, but normally in Russia and Romania and everything, has put a copyright against this song saying it's plagiarised. And it does sound very similar to several songs he has wrote in the past for other national finals, and this song was apparently wrote in English first. So whether this song will change dramatically from what we just heard, I don't know, but there is a dispute currently going on with her song. But it's just your typical Swedish ballad sang in Albanian. That's all I wrote down for it.
Thanks, Elliot. And what did you think of Kastro? Bit of rock. It's got this these lyrics. It's mean and moody and menacing, and it kind of sticks in your head, doesn't it? Not one for you, is it?
I said at the start, it really did stand out because you've got this rock voice with this like sort of rhythmical melody, so it's kind of like a weird juxtaposition. But I really like it. Will it do well? Maybe, I'm not sure, but it stood out for me, which is nice out of 26 songs.
Exactly. Thanks, Elliot. I'm pretty sure that my next two will absolutely adore this. Kastro, Phil and Michelle, you're going to love this one, I'm pretty sure. What did you think of it?
I did like it. Started off and I thought, this is great. And then I thought, are there only 2 notes in this song? And it seemed to go on and on with the same 2 notes. And then luckily there was a key change, so that made 4. But apart from that, it was good. It had a good beat, a bit rocky. Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it when it first came on. I thought, oh, this is a bit meaty. It's got like a traditional tune and then rock vocals, and I thought, oh. But then it went on, and then by the sort of the end of it, I was just a bit fed up of it. It just sort of didn't go anywhere. So it's a no from me.
I thought Inis, I know what Elliot's saying. It did just sound like half a dozen other.
Yeah,
ballads,
and he just kept
really.
repeating himself, which
No,
we all know is cheating.
This one now.
Oh, that
Inis,
one.
yeah,
Go on.
the first one. That was, I don't know. It was sung well, but it just sounded like a lot of other songs. Really, I thought I'd heard it before.
Yeah.
Camilla was again okay, maybe a little bit gloomy, but all right, yeah. So out of these 3, I think Kastro was my favourite.
Thank you, Phil and Michelle. We're going to come to Martin. Martin, now you've been playing these songs in your radio show, or at least talking about them. Which is your favourite of these 3?
Well, I've got preferences I like now rather than what I think is going to win, and I like Camilla Ismaila's song. It's nice and mellow, different style for Albania, really. Sort of nice chorus. I enjoy it. I think out of the 3, and probably out of all of them, I think Inis is probably the most likely one to probably win FIK this year, just purely because of what she's done before. As Elliot said, she's won New Wave in Russia, she's won the Golden Stag in Romania. She's a great vocalist, and Albania are quite willing to not only change songs or revamp songs, but just change them totally. So I wouldn't be surprised if she won, they'd just give her a different song to sing. Kastro, actually, I think it's all right. I want to see what this looks like live, actually, because it's sort of the genre that Albania likes, apart from a woman singing a ballad, is man sings soft rock, and I think this could look quite good. But it's one of my middle choices for the whole list this year. So,
thank you, Martin. Joe, what did you make of these 3?
I agree with Martin about Kastro. I'm really looking forward to actually seeing the staging on this one, because I can just imagine it being quite madcap if they allow it to be, and it could actually be quite a lot of fun and a bit of a laugh, I guess. I always like a little bit of rock, so it's going to be quite entertaining. I can't wait for it. I think out of the 3 of them, though, I think Inis is probably going to be the one that's got the best chance. I like it personally. I know there's lots of reasons going around at the moment, but as a song, it's totally listenable to. I can see it on the Eurovision stage. I can see it doing really well. I can see it qualifying for the final. So it's, and because it's her as well, because of everything that she's achieved, I do think she's going to be the one to beat, if I'm really honest. And Camilla, to be honest, I think that song is lovely. I really do. It is a very sort of mid-tempo, easily listenable to song. And my only problem is, it'd be nice to see what the running order will end up being, because if she's sort of, she could stand out depending on which song's next to her, or if she's with next to Inis, or even one of the others, then she may not get through, which would be a shame. But I think this one's a finalist as well.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. And finally, Tom, you're always the fountain of all Eurovision knowledge. What did you make of these three?
I can't be finally though, Stuart. I don't think you've spoken to Ian
I haven't,
yet.
you're right.
But,
There's so many guests. I've got to keep focused, Tom. I'll come to Ian next. Thank you for reminding me and making a tool of myself.
But it's fine. Don't worry. That's what I'm here for. I've actually gone to the trouble of ranking them. We'll go in reverse order, Steve. So the second one was Camilla. I really wasn't necessarily the greatest fan of this. It sounded like an updated Coldplay-ish type song. I thought this was okay, middle of the road. Interesting to note that Camilla's competed 4 times in FiK already. This is the 5th appearance, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be 5th time lucky. Ines, this apparently, according to AN Other website, was the most excited, anticipated song artist-wise. She won the Mediterranean Vision Song Contest in 2018, and it's a big ballad. She's got a good voice, but let's face it, my favourite here. Let's go for some real good soft rock. When I first listened to it, it sounded a bit like the start of like a martial arts video game, a bit like Tomb Raider type of thing. There's some life to it. There's a really good beat. It's the most modern. And also, quite frankly, who wouldn't love SpongeBob, Spider-Man, adult Simba, and so on and so forth, singing soft rock? Yes, that's right. Kastro does the dubbing in Albanian for all of those things on Albanian television. Who knew?
There you go. I mean, who knew we were going to get SpongeBob in on a FiK59 live show? Who knew? So I obviously left out the best till last. So let's go to Ian, because we all know that from a musical perspective, he is the one to beat. So Ian, tell us about these three. And sorry for forgetting you.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, I would say Andy Brooks probably the one for the music more than me, but no, these are 3 decent songs. I think Inis, very big. It's a big voice. It's a big. It grows into this big, nice sort of arena scale power ballad, which is really good. It's maybe a wee bit similar to in feel to this year, the 2020 entry, but it's a good song. I can see. I think this could be the winner actually. It's not my choice, but it's bloody good. Camilla, it starts off really nice. I thought it was going to be a little bit more interesting. It starts off a bit darker, and the chorus is lovely, but I think it's a little bit too nice. It's lovely and melodic, and I don't know if it quite fits with the verses. Maybe there's almost 2 songs in there, but it's nice. It's just I kind of hoped for more from the start from it. And Castro's like, oh right, here we go, bit of rock, excellent. And it's got it. It's there. It does get a bit repetitive. It's got a really nice big symphonic sound. Really drives along. The lyrics get repetitive, and I think that probably is its biggest flaw. But this would be great to see on stage. It'd just be fire and pyro everywhere. It'd be great.
Thank you, Ian. I agree, actually. I think Kastro is the Gina of FiK59. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch. Martin remembers. Look at him. So if you go back and watch our show from last year, Gina with that song about Albania, he loved it, didn't he? Parading on stage with the fire and all that kind of gubbins. Fantastic performance there from Gina. But I agree. I think Inis has this one of the 3. It's a power ballad. Certainly has hallmark of a potential winner. It's straight out of the music book of Leona Lewis. It's like every single winning X Factor and Idols song ever that's ever been recorded ever. Let's move on to Group 3. Oh, by the way, in case you were wondering what Mr. Brooks said in Albanian, he said, "Good evening and thank you for starting the 2021 season for us." Don't ask me, I just translated that because I speak fluent Albanian. So here is Group 2. And if you
On
just
the Christmas idents, so nice.
They are. I was going to say, actually,
They are. So nice.
They are. I was going to say, actually, big thanks to Sean Dwyer, panelist on the show, also a big contributor for those Christmassy thumbnails at the end. Talking of thumbnails, did anyone catch the thumbnail of Marood? He looks like someone just throwing him a bag of clothes and say, put as many as you want on as possible. Go back and check it out. These 3 songs, let's start with Phil and Michelle. What did you make of them?
Well, Clint, I thought it starts off slowly, but then once it gets going, I quite liked it. But I'm not sure that there's enough about it to make an impact on the other songs.
Yeah, I thought the same really. It was neither here nor there. It took a while to get going, but he sang it well, so it was all right. But
yeah, and Manjola, who doesn't love it when the mum turns up to do a song for you? It's brilliant. I liked it. It was a nice traditional tune. I think she'll get out. Well, it's outside. She'll be outside. She'll belt it out. But I don't think the youth will appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. I like a bit of.
You're not the youth.
I know. I am aware of that. But I like a bit of dum 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 dum. Yeah, it was a bit old school. But it was good. Sang it well. The only concern apparently is she's tested positive for COVID-19, so I hope she gets better.
Yeah, you have to be careful at her age. Yeah. And Mirel, another traditional sounding song. I liked it. I think with a tweak, it could be an absolute banger, and we could all be dancing at the Euro Club to it.
Yeah, it definitely had an Albanian feel to Marood, but I just thought it was a little bit gloomy for my taste. I'd like something a bit more cheerful.
Yeah, but with a tweak, it would be a banger.
Yeah.
It's definitely a bop, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to
Maroon's got...
say, just wanted to, I feel it, Michelle, come on. I think I'm with Michelle on this, you know. Can you, like, nice little bar maybe, a few drinks lined up, banging around under the background? I think it'd be absolutely banging.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure you'd be hitting Euro Club with it, Tom. There's no question in my mind.
Absolutely.
You know, I think he needs the performance, though. He did particularly badly in FiK59. He failed to qualify for the final. And I'm just looking around now at which panelists had that in their notes and going, shit, got nothing to say now. But he failed to qualify, and he was particularly upset about it. And so he should be, because it wasn't a bad song. But this is a bit of an up-tempo bop. What's a bop? But up-tempo bop. Anyway, still works. Is this finally Marood's year? Ian, come to you next. What did you think of these 3?
Three decent songs. Clint, I'm going to just do them in order. Clint's one, there's a nice drive to this one. It starts off a wee bit slow, then it builds up really quite nicely. I think it might have been slightly preferred if it was just more straightforward rock sound in the ballad. I don't think the drums quite fit with it. They're a little bit too sort of electronically. It's not quite there, but it's a really quite nice wee song. Manjola, she's another big voice. There's a big sound. I think this would be really good live. I think, and actually be really nice with the live orchestra, which they're not going to get, unfortunately. There's a lot of power in this. I think there's sort of echoes of Jamala's 1944. There's that the scale of it and the sort of power in it is there. It's good. See how it does. And Marood, this has got a nice bounce to it. It's a nice wee song. I don't think it's a great song. I don't think it will be his year, although it's a very good effort. It's nice. It bounces along. It has a feel of the area of the country, while being quite a modern sort of popular song. So yeah, it's good. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be his year again, unfortunately.
Oh, bless him. Bless old Marood. It's about time he won. Talking of dum 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 dum, make sure you ding 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 a ding our bell. Very important. Elliot, coming to you next. Marood. Is this his year?
I hope so, because I was one of those who was a big fan of his song back in FiK59, and it was a shame he didn't get through, because I do believe it's about his life and like when he was homeless, and that's why he had no shoes on, etc. It was very personal, and yeah, it fell like a stone. It was a bit of a shock. I agree that it's lacking something. Like, it builds really nicely. It's got like the hand clapping bit, which is a great build to it, and then the drop is just lacking slightly. But as we said earlier, Albania, they never keep their songs as what we get in this festival, so it will change, and maybe that's something they will add to it if he wins. But it's got great potential, and going on, Maitana last year was a big heavy favourite as well, and this is very similar, that traditional sort of up-tempo Albanian feel. It stands a good shot. Manola, again, it's kind of similar, that sort of like traditional ethnic sort of like mystical feeling of it, but it just kind of went in one ear and out the other for me. And this is maybe a little crass, but I was more distracted by her shot where her belt makes her waist look tiny, so her boobs look massive, and I kind of got distracted because my brain just kind of wandered after the 2-minute mark, I'm not gonna lie. And Clint, it's a decent song, but it just kind of dragged on a bit, sadly. Not for me, but he seems like a decent chap. But
I do agree with you about Maniola. I definitely got distracted over that one for the full duration of 3 minutes or so. I can't tell you why, but it is the kind of song that will get in your head and wreck your weekend, isn't it? Tom, what did you make of these three?
Well, let's be honest, Stu. I mean, I've ranked them, again, as you would expect from me. So, in reverse order, Clinty, I'm afraid, is bringing up the rear this time. Decent. I love
Clinty's bringing up the rear.
Yeah, literally. Decent rock guitar in places, but it didn't really go anywhere. I mean, I liked the string background, but it was a bit screechy at the end. It was not for me. Maniola, she is in the middle. Who doesn't love a song that starts as dum dum dum? Very reminded me of Manamu, Cyprus 1997. Loved it. Suspenseful, drums good. But at the end of the day, quite standard. But where does my 12 points go to on this selection? Obviously, it goes to Marood. The opening just, reminds me of kind of chilling out on the beach. I'm expecting, some whiskeys, some cocktails, maybe some rum, some chill dance vibes. And as Michelle said, with a tweak, do you know what, Stu? This could be #banger.
Oh, I think it is #banger, Tom. Certainly #banger when I play it in my car. Martin, were you as distracted by Maniola as I was?
Yeah, she is a very attractive lady, isn't she? But especially in that picture. I mean, a lot of people already hit the facts about her, which is a bit of a shame. But I saw that this is her 11th FIK. I think the first one she did was 1989. And because Festivali and Kenges is really like San Remo, so it's about the festival and not about getting somebody for Eurovision, I think this song is more for the Albanian audience and showing off how great a singer she is, because she's obviously really technically gifted. I think apparently she's a music teacher at the Tirana Academy. So, great vocals. I don't think it's going to be the one that's going to win FIK, but I think it'll be really good to see. Hopefully, fingers crossed that she's there and she's still not sort of taken out of the competition by COVID. Clint, it was okay, nice sort of mid-tempo pop ballad, but I think lacks a bit of impact. So, it might not even make the final really. And then Marood, I remember that he was interviewed quite early on when it was announced he was going to be one of the contestants by Wee Wee Blogs, and he was saying, "Oh, this is going to be a banger like me Tanner from last year," and he lied. It's not as good as that one. It probably is the banger of the selection this year from Albania, but we haven't really got much choice. So it's okay. He might be better with a dance routine on the night, but I don't think it's going to be his year, I'm afraid.
Thanks, Martin. I think that the only difference and the only point I would probably perhaps make there is that it's very different to perform a banger with an orchestra than it is to a backing track. And I'm really curious to see how Albania does the outside show this year. And I'm equally jealous that I can't go because it's 25 degrees in Tirana right now, and I could definitely do with a tan. I'm sure I'm not alone with that. My pasty white...
You're just chasing the sun.
My pasty white skin and ginger beard definitely needs a bit of sun, Tom, but that's another story. Joe, let's round this group off. What did you make of these?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see... I mean, with Marood, I don't see what everybody else can see, I think. I just don't like it, full stop. I don't think, it's mysterious. And a lot of people, I don't see I don't know. I prefer his 57 version, and you know, I have to say I've listened to it several times, and I just can't get into it, and I don't know why. I think it's because I don't know. Maybe I've got others that I prefer, but the more I listen to it, the more I think I don't want to listen to this one anymore. And it's a shame because I'm sure he'll do really well, and I think he'll get to the final. And so I'm hoping it grows on me, and I'm hoping he has a stage show, you know, in a million, and does really well because he deserves it. Let's face it, he does deserve it. Marietta, I get Janinda vibes on this one. No one's mentioned that yet, and I just totally get Janinda vibes on there. Everything really, even though she even looks a little bit like her in a blonde version of her potentially. There's just something about it that I think it's going to come up on the stage. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, he would have been better with the orchestra, and if, you know, as Ian said, and we're not going to get that. So, but I think that she will do really, really well. I really do. Clinty, I mean, I've just put here, yeah, it's okay, and I'm not fussed about it at all. And I could have turned it off after about 10 seconds, to be honest.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, guys. Not every song is everyone's cup of tea, but there you go. Love for all three at different times this evening. Right, I think it's time for Group 3. Let's have a listen to the next 3 songs. They get better every time, don't they? Let's go to Martin first. What did you make of these 3?
Yeah, I mean, Orgesa is one of my favourite artists from recent FIKs anyway, because she was in the Eugent Bushpepa year, and she had a superb song, but of course it just happens to be in the same year as one of the best Albanian entries we've had for many years. This year, nice piano-led music. It's sort of musical theatre type track to me. She's going to be spot on live. I think she's going to be one of the outside chances for getting through to Eurovision, but she has been to Eurovision already because she was there in 2009 as one of the backing singers with Keshi Tola. So yeah, I like that song. That's my favourite out of these 3 anyway. Rosella, I was listening to it earlier in the day with these on, and I always love the effect of swapping ears with the music. So the intro, if you listen to it, it's sort of one ear. It's really, you know, I like anyway. Very Albanian in sound with the instrumentation. She's got a beautiful voice. It's nice if you like wailing. I think that one will appeal to the jurors because, of course, it's all going to be national jurors this time. No international jurors. So yeah, she's got a chance. She's been a runner-up before in 2007, and then you've got Sadi, and it's sort of like one of the other genres of FIK where you got a man talking his way through emotional angst, and it's fairly intense, but I didn't particularly like his voice that much, and it seemed to drag, so it's way down my list. But yeah, so I'd go for Orgesa. Rosella maybe as well.
Thank you, Martin. Let's go to Elliot. Elliot, what do you make of these 3?
Well, Sadi just sounded like a sad shouting man ballad, and I wanted it to stop after a minute. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It was like half rock, half ballad. He just sounded angry, and it's just like it's not my thing. So I kind of like just put up a wall against it. Not a huge fan of this. I doubt I'm really gonna have much of an opinion shift for seeing it live. Yeah, Rosella. Yeah, I agree with Martin. It's got this very sort of like traditional, again, sort of like vibe to it, which I do appreciate. And you say same here. You could hear like the music switching, which was, you know, quite good, you know, for a first impression. The fact that instantly catches your attention. Again, I just think it's a little too placid for the style that's going for to stand songs in this sort of like idea now. Orgesa, I love this. You know, jazz bar ballad. What is not to love about it? Her voice is great. We know she can sing live because she delivers every time she's been in this competition. She's a powerhouse. I love it, and she is brilliant. And I think this song is also very marketable in Eurovision as well. You know, big fan of this one, I have to say.
Thank you, Elliot. Thank you. Let's go to Joe. Joe, some good songs here, isn't there? Which are your favourites?
Yeah, Orgesa. She's just like, I absolutely love her. I've loved every single one of her entries that she's put through for FiK. Particularly 56 is the one I like better. FiK 56. I have to say I love this. It's for me. If she could win, it would be brilliant because I think she deserves it. She's tried, it's her 4th attempt.
Yeah.
I just love her. This one has got something different that the others didn't. It is a little bit more sort of more set. I'd say more set for the stage. You could easily put this one in a musical, an up bit musical, and get away with it. I do like it, and I can't get it out of my head, to be honest with you. Right from the first listen, and I know she's very proud of it as well. I know she really is proud of every one that she writes and sort of sings, and she's very proud of this one. Rosanna, I just find her it's quite a nice number. There's nothing offensive about it. It is quite nice. It's quite dancey, isn't it? In some respects, I can see it being played at the Ordura Club or the Ordura Fest. We're going, oh yeah, here's Rosanna, but I don't think it's going to win, not at all. Struggle to qualify potentially. And then Sardi, that's another rock ballad, isn't it, really, from Albanian male rock ballad. There's quite a few of them, so he may got lost, but you never know, he may just go through.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, Sardi I'm struggling with a little bit. It's very kind of graspy, it's dark, mean and moody. It's not really quite for me, I don't think, but I wonder, we talked about this last night about Georgia, from a few years back, and the kind of the staging was so powerful, and I'm wondering with the Square Italy whether they're going to have the ability to build in LED backdrops and floor what they call it, kind of floor graphics, etc., and really make this come alive, because I think this type of song you can really build upon and create something quite extraordinary on stage. I wonder whether it's one of those that needs a performance, and he might deliver. We're going to find out in a couple of weeks. Let's go to Ian next. Ian, which of these were your favourites?
First one up, I guess. Really like this. Really good song. You can just see it in a kind of smoky cabaret bar with a wee, tight jazz band playing with her, along with her. Really good. Great voice. I think this is a really cracking song. It reminds me of something else. The chorus reminds me of something else, and I can't place it. It's been driving me nuts since yesterday. But yeah, I really like this one. I really hope this does well. It's Rosella. The panning stuff with the sound at the start, I don't like that at all. It's not 1970s prog rock anymore. And it's also something, if you do that, unless you've got the right headphones or the right stereo, it can sound really mental, or you miss it completely. It can make the song sound really weird. It's okay. It's a bit of a mess in places. I think there's a bit too much going on with it. I think there's a lovely wee bit in the middle. This kind of sort of really 1980s drum comes in as a wee fill. Sounds like one of those old hexagonal drum kits we used to have. Yeah, it's a bit odd. I'm not massively keen on that one. And I think it's particularly bad. It just doesn't. I don't think it quite works for me. And Sardi, I do quite like this one. I tend to quite like the sort of darker, the sort of broodier songs, the ones that aren't the big bops and bangers that are popular. So I quite like this, and I think, as you said, I think that staging could be quite interesting how they do it to sort of get the feel of the song over in the visuals as well as the song, but it's the vocal. But I do quite like this one. It's got a nice brooding sort of darkness about it, which gives a nice contrast to some of the
Thank you,
other
Ian.
stuff
Yeah, I
in the
completely
competition.
agree. I think the staging will make a massive difference to this, and I'm really quite looking forward to it. I always find the songs which I don't necessarily connect with when I listen to them prior to the contests are often the ones I come out thinking this really worked. This was good. Phil and Michelle, were any of these three your bag?
For me, yeah, Orgesa was my favourite of the night. I like her. It was a nice sort of jazzy sound to it. Got your foot tapping, and I think with some good choreography, this could really sort of stand out.
I liked it. It stood out right from the beginning. It wasn't just the same old, same old. But I agree with Ian. It did sound familiar. I couldn't quite put my finger on from where. So I think that could be a problem if people think they've heard it before.
Yeah, Rosella, I thought was not bad. Not as good as Orgesa's song, but it was okay and maybe a little bit repetitive for me. But there's another one that could do well with decent staging and choreography.
I put who doesn't like, like a traditional instrument, and this had all of them, I think. And at one point it sort of went quiet. You could hear a little ting of a triangle as well. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It's traditional with a modern twist. So I don't know. It's 50-50. It could do all right.
Sardi didn't work for me, so I think that's all I'm going to say because I know Michelle really liked it. So.
I loved it. I thought it started off. Thought, oh, it's going to be another miserable ballad, and it kicked in, and then I thought, oh, this is nice. It sounded like something off a movie soundtrack. It got quite dramatic in places. I loved it. Loved
Thanks.
it. My
Thank you,
favourite
guys.
tonight.
Good. You got a lot of love for Sardi. Tom, give us your ranking.
You know it's coming, don't you? Now, let's face it, last place, it's Sardi. I still think maybe Izzy, he came 7th in the X Factor in 2012 in Albania. I agree with the comments that people have made about the fact that it's like half ballad, half soft rock, things like this. It picks up. I'll be honest, it's just not for me. Now, exciting times. I didn't know where to put the dues points. Rosella, loved it. Different, dancey, nice undercurrent going on there of like a riff going on. The whistle, really enjoyable. But also, Orgesa, now, she's already got Eurovision form, hasn't she? She was backing for Kastro 2009 in Moscow. She's also got an excellent pedigree. She's won the Albanian Clip Nights. She got the Best Alternative Clip Award. There's classic vibes, the standout. They got the lovely jazz. I agree with Ian and Elliot that the chorus does sound familiar, but you've got some syncopation of the drums going on in places. It's proper swing. It's just an awesome track. But do you know what? I'm just handing out the 12 points to both of those two tracks in this group. Why not? I can. I make up the rules myself. Back to you, Steve.
Fair enough. 2 lots of 12s then for those two. Right, final group of the show. And actually, both shows. This is the final 4 songs of FiK59. Let's have a little listen. There we go. Oh. Can you hear me? Yeah, good. Excellent. For a minute, I thought I was on mute. I don't know why. I don't
But
know
we
why.
got Santa. Did you hear Santa in the background?
I did. Little technical issue
Santa's
on my end.
coming.
4 really good songs, and I think possibly we've saved one of the best till last. Martin, let's start with you. You're a big fan on Xhesika, aren't you?
Yeah, so I might as well start with her then. Yes, for me, this is my favourite of the whole list. She's been in it before, but not done particularly well. But it sounds very Albanian, if you know what I mean. She's got one of the best voices, lots of passion and interest. It actually felt like this was the one song that had a story for it more than any of the others, for me anyway. And I think because it's going to be just national jurors who are going to vote for the FIK this year, I think this has probably got a pretty good chance. Depends on how it looks, but she always seems to nails it on the night live. So this is my favourite of all of them. Going backwards, got Wendy. I did like this one. Another beautiful ballad. It's quite light and mellow. It's sort of more of a chill, so it's probably not going to do particularly well. But she was surprisingly eliminated last year, I think, in the semi-final. But she's sort of done well in other competitions. Then you've got Victor, the man with the hat. These Albanian crooners, I never think they're going to do very well, and then they always end up in the top 5. So what do I know? He's well known in Albania as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if he totally, instead of being my 20th, he ends up being sort of like in the top 5 or even top 3. And then Stefan, a really nice radio-friendly song, nice pop song. I get the feeling it might just go under the radar compared to everything else and might not do much. But yeah, a decent listen.
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, I agree, actually. I quite like Meteor, though. I think it's, isn't it a battle of the bops between Stefan and Marood? Probably Marood just wins it for me. Let's go to Phil and Michelle. What did you make of these? Which were your favourites?
I don't know, really. This group was okay. I mean, Stefan, sort of middle of the road, really. Had a bit of a beat to it, but wasn't really memorable.
Yeah, there was nothing too much going on with that. I thought Victor, we've had my mum, now we've got my dad. I thought my dad's turned up, thought, shouldn't have bothered. Go home, Dad, you're drunk.
Oh, he's one for the older generation of Albanians, I think, wasn't it? It was one for the Albanian nanas.
It's a shocker. It's a shocker.
Wendy was
dull.
Nothing really wrong with it, but nothing fantastic.
Yeah, it just didn't go anywhere, did it? It just sort of meandered along.
Yeah.
Go on, what's the last one called, Phil?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I just thought, what's going on with this? It's like they've just given up now and went, just stick that one on at the end.
It was, another slow one, not my cup of tea, dragged on a bit, really.
Yeah, it was awful. So, didn't like any of them in that group.
Yeah, not big fan of that one. Sorry.
No.
There you go. See, everybody agrees. I totally disagree. I think Xhesika is one of the best songs of the 26, but that's just my opinion. And also Martin's by the sound of things. Elliot, what did you make of these 4?
So let's start with Xhesika. It's probably the song they're going to pick because it's Albania sending a woman with a big ballad. She's done it God knows how many times with even louder ballads which haven't worked, so she's toned it down a bit. It's probably the song that's going to win. Is it the song that should go? No, I find it quite dull and monotonous, to be honest, and she is better than this song outright, in my opinion. Wendy, I actually do really like. She's got a really nice voice, actually, and I think it goes along quite nice. The song could do with a bit of a kick up it, but her voice is lovely, so I wouldn't mind her coming back and singing something, maybe a bit more soulful with a bit more energy. The one you compared to Marood, whose name I've completely forgotten, which doesn't bode well. Thank you. Yeah, again, I kind of tuned out in this song. It kind of grabbed my attention and then it lost it, which I'm not sure that's good or bad, to be honest, on a first impression. And again, this isn't a thing of 26 songs, and yeah, and again, I'm very tired, so I've forgotten even the 4th song now. I'm having a mare.
Wendy Mancacku.
Help. No, said her because I thought
that was
she
the
had a nice voice.
So let's go through it. We had Stefan with Meteor,
cool.
Victor with Nene, which is mother,
That's it,
translated as mother.
Yeah, hated that. That's why I can't remember. I blocked it out from my mind because old bloke just singing an old-fashioned ballads, but it's again, it's something that the Albanians are going to love because it harks back to an older time. They always push a song like this through. Like every year there's normally Boj Ken Lako in there with a song just like this that normally gets top 5. So I think it's awful, but it's probably going to do really well. Sorry, I had a complete mind blank in that group. Complete mind blank.
It's funny. I thought this group of 4 would do better than it's turning out to. It's not proven to be that popular. Ian, please help me out. Tell me there's a good one in here.
Yeah, they're not. Again, none of these are bad. Stefan's song, it's quite nice. It does the classic, slightly gentle, slightly acoustic start and then builds up, like quite a few other songs this year do. Bit of a safe bet, nice enough, but it's not particularly great. I do like Victor's song. I'm not so keen on that funny vocal effect at the start, but I do like the fact that Eurovision entrance, it tends to be a younger person's game. It's quite nice to see an older chap involved in it, and he's got a nice voice. The song, it's maybe not as exciting, but we'll start listening and going, where's the guitars? Ah, here's the guitars. Right, they've remembered. And it really kicks in at the end. So I do quite like this one. I didn't quite get it straight away. Yeah, I like this one. Wendy's song, a bit bland. It's okay. Lovely voice. Not much else there. I do like the bit at the end because it leaves her voice really exposed for the last sort of line or so. It's a really lovely way to finish the song. Just lets it tail off just beautifully. And the last song, again, great voice. It's nice. It's not. I don't think it's amazing. It doesn't. There's a kind of underlying vocal thing going on. So I wonder is Fred from Kino moonlighting away somewhere? Because there's a kind of slight sort of mouth music thing going on underneath all that. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, they're. No, I don't think any of them are great, but I think Victor's for me is the better one out of them. There's a bit more substance in it, I think.
Thank you, Ian. So 1 up for Victor. There we go. Didn't see that coming. Joe, which of these 4 would you have picked?
Out of the 4 of them, probably Stefan. I'll be honest. See, I've actually even put. I actually quite like this because I do. It's got that sort of disco sound. It's quite modern, but it has an Albanian feel to it, and I do think he will do really well. Certainly, Victor isn't going to be my favourite. I'm sorry, I just can't get into this one at all. I know he's popular, and I'm sorry to everyone who thinks that he's great and everything, but yeah, he's just. If he gets through, he'll get through because he's popular rather than the song's actually really good. Wendy, yeah, easy listening, gonna get lost. It's gonna get lost on the stage. There's no doubt about it. It'll be interesting to see how she plays it, but it's just nice but okay-ish. Xhesika, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with people who like this very much, but again, to me, it just doesn't get started. And I listened to it once and I thought, did I just listen to that? It didn't grab my attention, so I listened to it again and tried to pay a bit more attention, and then I realised why it didn't grab my attention the first time. But I do agree with what you guys are saying. I agree with Elliot as well. I do think that this could potentially win, but I think it would need a serious revamp to do really well in Eurovision.
Thank you, Joe. And finally, last panelist of tonight, Tom, who ranked the highest?
Oh, Stu, you're after another ranking. Now, where do we start? Well, people have said that, Xhesika could win. She's bottom of my ranking. I'm not going to lie. She's just like bottom. I thought the song was boring. Doesn't go anywhere. The ballad's not very nice. She came 3rd in Series 1 of the Albanian X Factor. It's just not for me. Coming in 3rd place on this, it's Victor. It's nice and rocky, but to be honest, again, it's not for me. Wendy, do you know what? I quite liked this. I do kind of feel a bit sorry for her. She's been trying for years to try and get into Eurovision. She tried to get into Junior Eurovision in 2012 and 2015. She was a contestant in FiK last year. Do you know what? I think this has got enough to stand out on the night. I quite liked it. It was really nice. But my 12 points, my 12 points, has to go to, and let's face it, it's upbeat, it's contemporary, it's modern, it's dancey, and ever so slightly cheesy, which must mean Meteor gets the dues. Come on. Amazing track. Loved it. We'll bop around to it. Absolutely brilliant. Bop along all night long to that one.
There you go. And Tom, look, while you're still on screen, because I'm going to ask the panel, because we're about to wrap up, but who would you give your 12 points to tonight out of all 13?
Out of all 13, Stu, it is, and it has to be, come on, Meteor. Meteor gets the dues.
Stefan and Meteor. Joe, who would you give your 12 points to tonight?
Oh, Orgesa, any day.
Elliot, who would you give yours to?
I'm in agreement with Joe. Orgesa, love me a jazz ballad.
There you go. Ian, who's your pick for tonight?
Same as Joe and Elliot. Orgesa, definitely.
Wow, looks like Orgesa's taking it. Martin?
Well, mine was Xhesika.
And finally, Phil and Michelle.
Well, I'm going with Orgesa, like...
Sardi.
But Michelle's going with Sardi, so...
There you go. So, we have actually asked our panel to vote. So we're going to find out now who has officially won tonight. Sounds like it might be Orgesa, but let's find out for sure. So let's put the scores up, and I can tell you that the winner tonight is Orgesa with 60 points, with Inis with 54, and Marood and Rosella just behind. Actually, they're quite a way behind, aren't they, with 37 points. And poor old Sardi at the bottom with no points whatsoever. There you have it. There you have it. Any shocks there? Probably not. Everyone thought Orgesa would do well. Xhesika, bit of a shock there, Martin. Not bothered. Whatever. He's...
As I say, this is preference, not who I think. I think Inis is going to be the winner of the whole thing anyway. But yeah. But I like Xhesika.
Well, you stole my thunder, Martin. I was going to ask the panel who they think will win out of the 26, because most of our panel have been with us over the 2 nights. You're going to go with Inis, I presume, then?
Yeah, I think she's the likely winner this year.
I think I'm going to agree with you. I think she's the most likely winner. Personally, I'd like to see Gigliola Havariku win with Elir. I think that's the most unique song in FiK59 this year. That's the song I would send to Eurovision. But I strongly suggest it won't be the one that the Albanians send. Phil and Michelle, out of the 2 nights, if you can remember Thursday, which song would you send to Eurovision?
I'm going back to show 1, Evie Ricci with Chair. That was my favourite.
I can't remember Thursday, so I'll have to say Sardi.
I had my doubts. Thank you both. Elliot, who would you send to Eurovision?
My vote... see, there's 3 I want there, which would be Marood, because it would be different for Albania. Orgesa, because it is a fantastic ballad jazz song. And going back from show 1, Enshi Nasufi with Neziri. It's very different, very disco, not like Albania, and it's actually very marketable, so that could actually do Albania very well. So I'm taking a Miss America approach and saying 3 instead of 1, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Elliot. As long as we give the crown to the right person.
Yeah.
Joe, who would you send?
Oh, I hate agreeing with Elias.
Oh, the
There's
shame.
a first.
Of the night.
For me, it's either Enshi or Orgesa. I think Inis is probably going to win. But I want Orgesa or Enshi. In either order, I don't mind. I don't want to agree with that.
Sounds like we all want an Orgesa tonight. Ian, who would you be? Who would be your pick?
I think I would go with Orgesa of the lot, but I suspect it'll be Inis that gets it.
Yeah, so we're going with heart over head for most of the panel tonight, aren't we?
And I think Inis would do pretty well, actually, at Eurovision.
My only concern with the song is it feels to me like every other song that you hear at Eurovision, and I am slightly concerned. I agree with you, by the way. I think it is the most likely winner, but I think it's also the kind of song that everyone expects to do well that doesn't. Like, for example, Michael Rice. I mean, if you compare the songs, I'm not sure there's that much of a difference.
But
just like there wasn't much of a difference between Michael Rice and John Ludwig's song, and there was a hell of a difference in terms of scoring on the night.
But these sort of Swedish pen ballads do sometimes do very well. You say like John Lundvik and Sanna Nilsson, like sometimes the Route 1 ballad does work out, or it crashes and burns. There's no middle ground for it. So it's a safe option which can either work well or poorly, but it's probably the likely winner, which, yeah.
I agree with you. And have I asked you, Tom? I can't actually remember.
No, Stu, you haven't.
I didn't think I had. Go on, finish off the show. Who do you think's going to win the whole thing?
Do you know what? If we're looking at pedigree, it's Ines, and obviously, I mean, she romped home in the Mediterranean Vision Song Contest in 2018. But you know, I'm going to agree with Elliot as well, with Orgesa. You know, it's everyone has to have their good days, and quite frankly, today, Elliot, this is your good day.
That's my one for the season, and I've used it in December. It's going to be a long
I know.
5 months.
It's going to be a long time.
So there you have it. I think tonight's show is probably going to be named "We Want FiK to Have an Orgesa." That has to be the one. Just like to thank the panel. I think it's been a marathon, hasn't it? The last 2 nights. I mean, God, can you imagine doing all 26 in one night? It was 20 songs last year, so they've added another 6, and I actually like them in general. I think a good 8.5 out of 10 for Albania this year. Big solid 8.5. Yes, Michelle. Yes. And I think it's getting stronger every year, Festivali, Kenges. And I just wonder whether this whole little thing called Corona might actually benefit this show, because I think it might be really intriguing to see how Albania pulls off their national final selection, which you can watch. So there is a bit of debate going on behind the scenes at ESC Fan TV HQ, whether it's the 16th, 17th and 18th, or 17th, 18th and 19th. Martin thinks it's the 17th, 18th and 19th. Wikipedia tells me it's the 16th, 17th and 18th. Who knows? We're going to find out at some point. Just go and Google it. You'll find it eventually. Tom, what's on tomorrow night?
I was going to say tomorrow night, Stu, if you think the last 2 nights have been a marathon, we're bouncing across to Sweden. Yes, across 3 days, they announced their Melfest artists for 2021. And tomorrow night, we're going to give our thoughts and opinions on them. Oh my goodness, there are so many returning artists you would not believe, including 2 former winners and someone who's not been seen since they were beaten by a certain Loreen and Euphoria in 2012. We'll be live at 8 p.m, 9 o'clock Central European time.
Exactly, including a one Jessica Anderson, who represented Sweden as part of Fame, and I know you loved her recent entry. We're gonna talk about all of this tomorrow night, live 9 o'clock Central European time. Do not miss it. Want to say big thanks to the panel who've been with us, mostly been with us over the last 2 nights. Thanks to Phil and Michelle. They've frozen in time.
Yeah,
Bye.
it's been a thrill.
Oh, sorry, we're having Wi-Fi issues, I think, but
You have, but we got the gist. I think you said it's been horrendous, so same to you. Big thanks to Martin. Make sure you check out Let Me Be The One blog, and of course his radio show. Did I get it right this time?
Yes, that's fine. Whatever you want to say. But yeah, thank you for tonight. It's been
Thank
great.
you to Ian.
Cheers, another great show. Cheers, guys.
Thank you to Elliot.
Thanks, guys. Let's just hope it doesn't rain in Albania whilst the show's going on, because that could be unfortunate.
It won't rain. Trust me, it won't rain. That's the place to be right now. And can I just say, actually, because I know you get a lot of stick, Elliot, but I thought tonight, Elliot, what music choices were right. And I think it will prove to be so.
Like I said,
by the way, we're going to edit that bit
I've
out.
used it now. So it's downhill from here. Wait till Estonia. It's just going to be a shit show.
Wait till MGP in January.
Or wait till Melfest tomorrow night. Big thanks to Joe.
Thank you, everyone. Well done, Albania, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
And big thanks to Tom, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, see you tomorrow night. We're
See
going
you
to rock
guys.
the Melfest.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.